Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to Old Trafford Odyssey, your Manchester United global fan channel. I'm Ankit.
I'm Vidyut.
And I'm Craig.
And this is your latest Manchester United news. So, without further ado, let's get into the topic for today. First one, as usual, Manchester United sale. So, off late, since the last 2 days, we've had like a lot of news coming from Mike Keegan, from Ben Jacobs, Time Sports. A lot of activity and update finally coming in, things starting to get slightly a bit more clearer as to what's happening and where things stand. So what we've been hearing the last 2 days is basically that the latest bid that was there from Sheikh Jassim and the Qatari side is actually reported to be a bit more closer to the £6 billion evaluation than as expected before. It's believed to be a much more significant bid. And that has sort of given Sheikh Jassim and the Qatari side a bit of boost and more confidence, and they have sort of jumped ahead into the favorite spot for the takeover. So in terms of the money now, it seems both the bids are similar. They're almost quite closer to each other.
Correct.
The only difference right now is that one bid states that the Glazers have an option to stay, whereas the other bid does not. So with the Sir Jim Ratcliffe bid, the Glazers have an option to stay in some sort of capacity with a certain amount of shares.
20%.
Exactly. And
10%, whatever it is.
Whatever it is. I mean, reports keep,
changing.
Varying. It's either 51, 60%, 35. You keep hearing a lot of numbers. Nobody knows the exact amount, but they will be staying in some sort of capacity is what that bid seems to suggest. So this is what the latest stance looks like. However, there have been certain reports that state that the end of this week, we should be hearing a preferred bidder for Manchester United. An announcement for the preferred bidder. That was according to, Mike Keegan.
Correct.
However, there have been a bit of contradictory reports, and latest exclusive coming in from Ben Jacobs has been that there is not going to be a preferred bidder stage with Manchester United.
It's going to be announced directly.
It makes sense also because it's like...
Yeah, it makes sense.
Now to announce a preferred bidder will be like, then you will have to have more... once the preferred bidder is announced, then they will get into the details. Then they will, come up with a final offer. But right now it doesn't make sense because that was like a month back or, a month and a half, 2 months back. If that phase should have been...
That should have been a preferred
bidder at that point of time. But right now,
it's a shame the Glazers are stretching it on so much though.
Because we are already late.
Honestly, whatever the conclusion, I hope it is done by this coming week, because if they don't do it, I can see our transfer window going for a toss, to be very honest.
Yes.
And I don't want that to happen. There's not enough clarity right now, man. There are reports coming that we have 100 million transfer kitty regardless of the owner, and we're trying to get a couple of signings in before the ownership changes. But then, honestly, I would rather have a fresh new owner and then work towards, taking the club ahead.
Understood. I mean, I think almost I think all Manchester United fans, whether they want Sir Jim Ratcliffe or whether they want Sheikh Jassim, all of us want one thing for certain, is for this to be resolved as quickly as possible, including players, people around Manchester United, the manager. Everybody literally wants this over with, because obviously it is hampering our transfer window to an extent. It restricts us in a lot of ways, as in terms of, we don't know who's going to be coming in. If they want to get personnel themselves to make these sort of decisions, to make these sort of moves as well. Because you have no idea what they want themselves, right? So, I mean, unless there's a clear picture, we don't know what exactly can be done. Yes, the reports, again, the latest exclusive by Ben Jacobs again states that in terms of the budget, there's not going to be a huge difference no matter who comes in. Obviously, because we are restricted by financial fair play. But the number that is thrown around, which is the 100 million that is to be said, is not exactly what Ben Jacob feels is that's not something you need to read too much into, because it doesn't work exactly like that. What's more important is how these bids are timed, the time stamp that is put on these bids, like how we've seen with Chelsea, that you with long-term contracts being signed wherein you don't have to pay today. So
Correct.
if you're not paying today, that's not going to be added on that 100 million.
is true.
So there are a lot of dynamics at play here when it comes to money, budget. What is the sort of general consensus is that no matter who comes in, United will have at least a decent amount to spend. However, there will be some sort of restrictions in terms of finance. So obviously nobody can come in and just have like an explosion of cash of where you probably have like a budget of 300 or 400 million.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I think 200 million tops is what we're looking
exactly.
at.
Maybe 200, 250
well.
based on outs.
Yes, so we're going to have some transfers out as well. So depending on that.
Absolutely.
But 100 mil is not enough, to be very honest. Like 200 mil
to be honest, 200 mil is not
exactly
enough. Especially if you want to catch, if you want to catch the likes of Manchester City and Newcastle and Chelsea, who will come out stronger.
True. But we have to understand, right? I mean, with the damage that has been done to this club over the years, our wage structure and all, we all knew that it's not something that can be overhauled or changed in one transfer window. Obviously, we would like.
Yeah, there is a difference between India. We can't do it, and
exactly.
Don't. Wanting to do it. There is a difference between that. Earlier, under Glazers, we've never wanted to do it.
Correct.
We've always gone for it. We've been hesitant. We've been dilly-dallying the deals all throughout the summer. That's been going on since years, especially post Sir Alex Ferguson. So right now, even 200 million pound budget, like for example, will be a good news or a bad news depending who buys us in the summer. 200
million
for example, if you ask me, if Sir Jim ends up buying us, for me 200 million pound is going to be a bad news, But if Qatar buys us, 200 million pound will be a good news. Why? Because we know that this transfer window, okay, we're not going to go for all the players, but it'll happen in the future.
There seems to be more
trust when it comes to, because there's obviously super well.
There's a long-term plan.
There will be a long. I'm not saying that there won't be a long-term plan with Sir Jim Ratcliffe involved, but again, where will they get the money from?
Less complicated.
If they don't have the money to buy us,
they buy us completely 100%. I don't think so. They have the money to do all the things what Qatar will be able to do.
With Ratcliffe coming in, there are too many stakeholders, right? Like you have the New York
Even
Stock Exchange,
without the stakeholders, you still don't
you've
know.
got Ratcliffe. I don't see that
absolutely
panning out well at all over the next 5 years.
Even with too many stakeholders or no stakeholders, it seems very weird, the bid, because there's nothing clear about it. With Sheikh Jassim, at least we know what the amount he's pledged. There's a pledged investment.
Yes.
They've already spoken about and said that they'll be investing into stadium infrastructure, players, men's squad, women's squad, training facilities, training ground. A lot of it needs massive revamp.
Correct.
It's been neglected since the past 17 years since the Glazers took over. So we know there's a lot that have already been said from the Qatari camp. But we seem to, it's more scary that nothing has come out of Sir Jim's camp. I mean, because if you see, obviously, it's been very clear where Manchester United fans stand when it comes to this. And if you see the amount of negativity that's starting to come in with a bit revolving the Sir Jim's Ratcliffe's bid, it's a bit more scary that they don't want to put any sort of PR defense out there, or to even put any sort of thing out there to maybe say something that what their plans are for the club. So it sort of feels more like maybe they don't want to come out and say something because they can't do it later on. So it feels a bit more scary. But again, with the takeoff in news, how it is. So it's always something different. Yesterday it's somebody's favorite, tomorrow somebody's favorite. So as of now, where we actually stand is there are two bids on the table for the Glazers. They're both very similar in terms of money. With the Sir Jim Ratcliffe bid, they have an option to stay, and with the Sheikh Jassim bid, it's about taking over the entire club. So that is where we stand from the Glazers' point of view. There is not going to be any preferred bidder. There's going to be no preferred bidder. It's going to be now, what is understood is the next step that will directly be a winner step.
Okay.
So it'll be announcing directly whoever the winner is. The Glazers want both parties to be completely ready for a complete takeover. as and when the Glazers give the green light to anyone.
He's
of them.
becoming, he's playing smart.
be
There is
honest,
little
he still
hope.
wants that
He still wants
tension
little
to
more
be
money
there.
because there's going to be competitiveness. There's going to be
Exactly.
tension. So one might just come up with a higher bid
So-
at last moment. Yeah,
Exactly. So even with the confusion right now, what I believe is, my opinion is that there is a price for the Glazers to walk. Because if it was about staying,
Yes.
the bid from
they would have accepted Radcliffe's
because-
bid a long time ago.
It's not changed.
Would have
It's
been
not
done.
always
Yeah.
been the
There
same.
has been no changes since that
Exactly.
bid.
So
Yeah,
if they really
absolutely.
wanted to stay,
they would have picked up.
They
that.
would have. I mean, my say, we all know 17 years we've seen Glazers are nothing but all about money. Even with the news about Al Khelafi, PSG president, and how the Glazers had approached them to try and use his influence to increase Sheikh Jassim's bid. All these reports coming in. The reason that we're still having this conversation, that delay, it all suggests to one aspect. I think is that there is a number.
There is a number.
it
They're
just-
leeches. They just want
Exactly.
to
It's
make
a
as
matter of
much money as
somebody
possible.
hitting that.
Yeah, like
It's demand and supply,
Exactly.
man. There's one club and there's
there
a lot of
has
demand.
been.
Can't-
I
can't
don't
do
think
one
so.
thing.
There has been a worse owner of any sports team in this world.
To be honest, that's exactly how I felt.
They're just running a business, man. It's not-
and that's never healthy.
It's not
for-
hard,
That's
it's just
never
mind
healthy.
and head, like,
And for
it's
us,
not
it's never
their
been a
decision.
business. For us as fans, it's always been passion. It's always been about winning trophies, about the culture, about what made us fall in love with Manchester United. The history. It's the never die attitude that always coming back. Even the Munich, the Busby Babes, the Munich air disaster. You come even the Ron Atkinson times. You can name Sir Alex Ferguson era, the most successful era of as a Manchester United fan that we've gone through. It's all about passion. It's all about the players playing for the jersey. Everybody involved had had one goal. Is to go and win trophies. That was Manchester United all about.
That is what we were before the Glazers
That's
took
what,
us
yes.
over.
And I am really, really sad to know that, I have, like my friends and we have a discussion and how the standards have lowered since the time, sir, the Glazers have took over. We are discussing about, that kind of players and, players like Rashford and, players like Sancho and not letting these kind of players go who've been at our club since past 7-8 years and still not done enough to be wanting that kind of money that they have been given and they've been paid for it. So
I'm not just keeping these keeping these players and all. Over the years, the sort of signings that we've made as well, the transferring decisions that we've made, specifically made by bankers, not hiring any sort of footballing people. It's run like a
everything.
commercial business,
It's
right?
simple, yeah.
It's
It's
not
a
run like a
business.
football club. What the brand, the merchandise, the name, commercial aspect of Manchester United is what was more important to the Glazers, because that's what was always going to fill their pockets, as opposed to giving any care about what's happening on the field.
yes. So
That's running out now, though.
Yeah,
That time is running out.
And
It is,
eventually now.
I mean, if
ultimately you need to win trophies, right?
if we still get a full sale, I mean, because
No, which is why they know that that's not going to happen currently. That's the
Yeah.
reason
They
why
can't-
they put
they
the
know,
money,
yes,
put
yes.
United at sale.
that boat's gone.
Why didn't they put us on sale? Say about 5 years ago.
Correct.
They know that now
Yeah.
they are not going to get money out of Manchester
They
United
stuck us dry,
and
right? We don't
Yes.
get, we
That's the
don't
reason why they're
hold the
selling
same
it.
sort of power
Yeah.
anymore.
They took till the end to get keep hold of us. Even now they are trying to get the most money out of it. So yeah, that's what it won't be surprising that's the reason why there won't be any preferred bidder announced before they just pick up a winner.
But like it said, in any case, both the bidders have already been in talks and stages that would ideally be what a preferred bidder would actually be doing. So they're already been at that stage. They're already been having those conversations, and which is why both camps feel like they're positive about their own bid, because you wouldn't be having these sort of conversations ideally unless you were a preferred bidder. So all of these aspects that keeping both of them at that stage, keeping both in the dark, it points to just
They
aspect
want- they
logically.
want-
I mean,
they want the most.
Yeah,
two and two,
whatever.
you know, just put
They
two
want
and
to
two
sell,
together.
yeah, definitely. They want to
Exactly.
sell, but they are trying to get as much money as possible.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
we'll see if anybody hits that number. But
Let's move on.
what we're hearing is
transfers
move
are
on.
changed.
this week, end of this week is
Yeah,
you know
done.
when probably we could hear
Yeah,
something,
targets.
or maybe in the coming 1 or 2 weeks.
Wow.
So let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that you know.
Hope we-
Qatar in.
Absolutely, we
Yeah,
want.
we
our
only
Qatar in.
want Qatar. We don't want Surgeon Ratcliffe.
So, anyways, moving on to transfer news. We all know with Manchester United how it's been. We're not the best club when it comes to transfer negotiations.
Everybody knows.
Actually,
Not just we,
it's,
as
it's,
our
it's not a
fans.
hidden fact. You know, let's just put it that
Shit
way.
show.
Yeah, we're sort of a joke. You know, when it comes to our reputation in terms of transfers with any club.
Not even
involved,
transfers.
wherever you go.
Look at the club sale also. We're a joke.
Yeah.
In negotiations.
Can't
We're a
get
joke in
anything
all
right
aspects
right now.
of the-
Negotiations.
If you saw the charity
Where there
match,
is money
if you
involved.
saw the charity
Oh
match
my
at Old
God,
Trafford,
don't
so
even ask.
our organizers had white and blue scarves in a charity match.
The next day
for
after
England,
City winning the treble.
but that's just the day after City winning the treble, making Old Trafford stands look like City.
City.
So I have no idea. I mean, whoever
Nah,
organized
man.
that needs sacking, definitely. But that's Manchester United.
We
feel.
need to
So,
buy ourselves our treble back.
Uh,
And
well, I mean,
respect
we
to
need to
how,
go
like,
for a
Sancho has been
quadruple
given
or a-
we've got our treble without money. We've
Yeah.
got a treble without 115 violations.
It's the way
There's
we
a
did
lot
it.
of points.
The way we did
So
We got it first.
Yeah,
we've
we got
already
the right way.
Yeah, the
so
right
we've done that. Been
you.
there, but now football's changed. Morals have gone out of the window.
Yep.
So we've got Newcastle coming in, City coming in, people wanting to buy cups. So I guess if you want to be successful anymore, you're gonna need to play at their field at the same level. So that's that. Now moving on to transfer news as we were
Who do we
talking
start
about.
with? Jadon Sancho.
Jadon Sancho is an interesting aspect.
Yes.
It has been confirmed by Ben
Sky
Jacobs.
Sports, yep.
Today it has been confirmed by Ben Jacobs as well that the Tottenham Hotspur interest in Jadon Sancho
Real.
is real.
Oh.
Also, there are some other clubs who are interested in Jadon
Europe,
Sancho
yeah.
as well in Europe.
Yeah.
It's
They're
not
looking
just
after They send
Tottenham.
scouts to
Exactly. So
watch
they
him, yes.
have scouts from Europe, clubs from Europe that have come in to watch Jadon Sancho.
Yes.
The reported price range what Tottenham are looking at is 50 million pounds. I think
50 to
Manchester
60
United
is fine based on
I think United have a
Transfer
little
fees.
higher evaluation at around 60 million pounds.
If that's true,
Is-
Qatar.
50
what
plus
it is.
add-ons is fine.
But-
I think that'd be okay.
But again, Eric Ten Hag likes the player.
He likes the player.
feels
He
like
still
he's
feels
still the
that-
right profile and he's still the right age.
There is something to
so
offer.
there is something to offer, from Sancho. So United are not completely desperate to sell Sancho. That's the stand of
We need
the
the
club.
right offer.
Exactly.
There is a
They're not
possibility, yeah,
absolutely-
because,
The right offer.
because he
Yeah.
doesn't even know maybe who the owners are and what
Exactly.
kind of
So-
players. Maybe it's because of that as well.
With-
Probably.
With
He doesn't know
Sancho,
that.
with Sancho, the problem is that we've got Ahmad coming in next season. Most likely, he's going to be playing with the first team. We've got Anthony.
there is no
I mean,
more
to
talking.
be honest, let me-
No, even Eric Ten Hag has said clearly
He's
that
coming back.
He's coming back, but he
But-
will take a decision in the
After-
preseason.
in
Yeah.
in all
But we've
honesty,
still got Anthony there, right?
but
Like,
in all
he's
honesty,
gonna play with Anthony
I
over
don't
Sancho.
think we should be putting players like Garnacho and Ahmad into
Yeah,
these
that we
conversations.
shouldn't do.
They are
True.
youth.
What are we talking
products.
about?
We
Like
need to-
that's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Standards, right? Where have our standards gone down so low that we are expecting that Ahmad should be the one?
Exactly.
No,
we
he's a
don't
G-
want that. We
he's
need
not
to
that great a
develop these
player.
guys.
You have
we
to
need
develop
bring
them.
in talent now. We
I
need
think
the
he's
best
got a
talent.
lot of talent. I think
He's got a
probably
talent,
wrong.
but Foden has got a brilliant talent. He's better than Rashford.
Foden-
But
Are you gonna
Foden
have
is not starting
20
every
people?
game. Like so.
Are you gonna have like 25 talents?
We need to
Again,
get there. We're not there right now.
yeah, so that's
Look,
where our
wait.
standard has to be there.
Exactly.
For it to go there. If our standards
think-
are so low in first attempt only, and our standards have been low since the past 10 years. So we as fans have to get our standards up. It can't be
Absolutely.
like-
I mean,
If
right
Sancho
now-
goes, we probably do need to replace him.
Of course we need to.
immediately.
Obviously, we need
At
to,
the
but
same
that's the
transfer
point.
window.
You
Yeah.
replace him if you can sell him, right? That's the whole point of letting such players go, because that will significantly increase your budget.
Yeah,
Because
we need that.
outgoings is money straight into your onto your
Yeah,
budget,
transfer
right?
budget, yeah.
So and plus
We need it.
you have to understand the wages Sancho's at.
That is the main problem. His wages.
It's
He's
just
about
not-
350,000.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but all the
He-
problem is just not that. 350 is fine if you play well. If you're performing, it's fine.
we can't have
Offloading him,
25
offloading him with that kind of
Offloading
salary.
him, that's-
What are the teams that are going to
We
pay
can't
that
have
amount?
25
I don't care. That's why we want
talents.
Qatar in, no? Why everything depends. That's why even Eric Ten Hag cannot come and decide completely that I want
Whether he
Sancho,
wants Sancho.
or I don't want Sancho, because he himself doesn't know who are the owners.
He doesn't know how
They're not
things.
seeing
I
something
think
in
what
Sancho.
you need to understand.
They're
Okay,
not see something in Sancho.
Of course, that's the
But
reason
he's
why
not
he
been
sent
able
him.
to prove himself.
But
The
he's
second
never
season was not good
like
enough.
you send him for 2.5 months to
Yeah.
sort your shit out
Yeah.
and everything. You give a manager has backed you.
Yeah.
You come back. You show.
I didn't see
glimpses
enough.
again.
Right, okay.
So it's
I
not
haven't
enough.
seen
Low
enough.
hot and cold.
I haven't seen
Clearly.
enough, to be honest.
Yeah.
If you paid
so-
a 75 million pound for a player and this is his fourth season is going to be this summer,
Third,
or
this
fourth?
will be the fourth, I think.
Fourth season, right? So you have to be performing in your at your fourth
Yep.
season. At least.
I mean, even if it's your third season, you still need
You
to be
have to
performing now.
perform,
It's
like,
high
you
time.
cannot have-
He's been given a lot of chances, way more as
Which is
compared
why I am
to a
telling
lot of
you, where
other
are the
players.
standards? Yeah, you're giving him.
We can't give him.
How many? Like
more-
this is the Anthony
And-
Martial has got 7 seasons, and
can't
now
have-
again where has it come?
See.
He's not lived up.
What United we as
Rashford,
fans.
yeah.
this is the only season that he scored 30 goals. He's been with us since what? 7 seasons again.
And again, even with Rashford scoring 30 goals this season, what people fail to understand is he scored 30 goals because United are playing only to his strengths right now because we have no other outlet. What United do is just lob a ball, counter attack, just lob it so Rashford gets one-on-ones. Other than that, there is no other scenario where Rashford scores. If you want progression and compete with somebody like City,
We need
eventually
Harry Kane.
Ten Hag ball, it's possession plays.
You need Harry
football.
Kane. You need someone who can hold the ball up.
Rashford
He
is
desperately
wait for
see-
players to move and then pass.
Exactly.
Simple. Eric Ten Hag, like after
You need
the
options.
Yeah.
Eric Ten Hag clearly said after the season is over, when someone asked him that are United, is this the style that you want United to play? And he said no.
No.
He's clearly, this is not his possession style.
What he's making. He's making do with what he has.
He's making do
Yeah.
with what he has. If you
That's
want,
obvious.
if he
obvious.
wants to play his football, you have to give him the players that are capable of playing that kind of football. Like Gary Neville said today, he's got players. Gary Neville has come out with brilliant point. Like he's got 2 players that has got the legs, but they don't have the technical ability to play. And there are 2 players that have got the technical ability to play,
Eriksen.
but they don't have the run, the legs to
Legs.
play.
Eriksen.
So he's got such mismatch of players, so he cannot play that kind of
Yeah.
football. And
It's,
Marcus
he
Rashford
needs to
is
be
not a
back.
possession style football player.
He's a counter-attacking striker.
Counter-attacking football player.
So I still feel, and I'm going to back Rashford here. He's still an asset to the club, but not as our star player. We need a couple of more.
Do you think
attackers up front.
he's an asset to the
He's
club?
someone who we
And-
can bring on later on, like when we are maybe 1-0 down.
And we've been
That's what
we've been
You're telling me that
putting
you-
all our faith on him since what 2
forget
years.
all your faith. So you're telling me you want a player at over 300,000 pounds a week
That is not
on
even
the
a
bench
starter.
coming off once in a
Wow.
while when you need him
for the next
on
for the
tactics.
next couple of seasons. I'm not gonna be like Rashford needs to like live. He's not gonna
See,
spend his whole career.
that's
at United.
exactly the kind of issue. That's the
issue.
problem with
This
Manchester
is where
United.
City don't do this.
City did not.
Bernard, Gabriel Jesus was let go yesterday. Gabriel Jesus is a fabulous player.
Yeah,
Sterling was let go. Zinchenko
Cancelo.
was let go. Cancelo was let go. If City
Bernardo Silva might go.
Bernardo Silva might go. This is what they do. They let
You
go
think
of good
Silva's
players.
not good enough?
They keep things fresh.
That's what they need to
Bernardo's
do.
been linked to
But that's
Barcelona for a long
dude,
time.
Are you competing
He's
for
been wanting
second?
to go himself. It's
Is
not
your
that
ambition
Pep
to
wants to
compete
sell him.
for second every year, or is your ambition to compete for first and trophies?
is to compete.
If your ambition is to compete for
show it.
trophies,
I'm not talking
you
about
can't have
this
the
transfer
mentality.
window, man. I'm not talking about the transfer window this season.
That's-
in the future, maybe.
Exactly.
Right now, we need to keep the guy. But Sancho, I
We
agree
don't-
with you
see,
guys.
I would-
Sancho needs to.
I would honestly,
we get 50 mil for him.
honestly,
He's got-
I don't see why we need to keep Rashford. In fact, selling Rashford right now will give us the most amount of money, and we can go
And
straight
we-
by somebody
They're
like
not doing-
That's a different
Victor
story.
Osimhen.
We're here to discuss about our opinion, what we think,
What-
what's
what
going to
is better
happen
for this club?
Like obviously, now we want
Would
Qatar
you-
in.
what is better?
But whether it is going to happen or not is not in our hands.
Imagine
That's our opinion.
What I would want, I want the best for this club. That's what I am talking about. I want an owner who can come in and do what is best for this club. Not what we are stuck with and what we have to do. I want an owner who comes in and gives Eric Ten Hag the power that, look, Harry Maguire, you're not in my plans. And I mean, there are offers for you and these are clubs looking in for you. And if you don't want a wage cut, it's fine. I will pay your wages. That's the money. Please leave.
That's
the sort of power I want my manager
exactly,
to have.
and this is all thanks to the Glazers. It's because of Glazers that fans today have gotten their standards so down that we are having this conversation that we have to keep Rashford
Exactly.
in. We have to keep Sancho, or we might
We
might
need
not.
Rashford
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I would
we
say
need that. That's precisely my point.
club's
We
poorly run.
don't need a player we need better players than Rashford there performing for us.
honestly, right now, the only person I would probably have earning £300,000 in Manchester United would be if we sign somebody like a Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah.
That's about it. Or impossible, but maybe somebody like a Hojlund.
Just imagine.
Yeah.
There were times under Sir Alex Ferguson.
There should be no way given. We should be no way giving Rashford £300,000 a week. He should be getting
that's just
a
a
new
kind of
contract
poorly
with
run
reduced
club, man.
wages like David De Gea is getting. That's what even Rashford should be offered. A new contract with lower wages. If you love the club, you need to understand that we need to get a hold of this club. We need to repair the damage. We need to get that wage structure better. You love this club. You're a boyhood, youth prospect from our club. You care about this club. You will understand that and you will agree to that lower wages. If not, nobody's bigger than this club.
Yeah.
Sell him to anybody who wants him, PSG or something. If Rashford is so great, if he's so great, we get 100 million for him. That's straight 100 million onto a transfer budget. If you're already thinking about 200, that's 300 there.
Yeah.
And we can straight go for somebody like a Victor Osimhen and Hojlund. There's your two strikers up front.
But that's not going to happen. But yeah,
That could happen. Again, based on who our owner is, it could happen. It's not a completely impossible.
I don't see the Qataris or Ten Hag shaking things up.
I see what
they do it.
What will happen? None of us can say what will happen.
What will happen?
What we as fans are telling is what should happen.
Yeah.
What is better for our club and what our ambitions
this is what
should
we
be.
would like. What should ideally? This is the question. That's what is put on. Like, if you have the money in, if you're getting that kind of money for a player right now who you don't think should be your starting 11 player, and he's sitting taking that much money on the bench, what ideally would you want to do? Is how.
Yeah.
That is the question.
So yeah, exactly. That's basically what we need from our new owners. We need a better structure.
We need ruthlessness.
We need a better structure. We need a director of football. We need more footballing people in this club that actually take these sort of decisions. Kind of people who are supposed to be taking these decisions, not bankers. And we need to give our manager the power. It's not just about spending big money and just signing superstars. Even with Qatar taking us over, if that comes in, I want Qatar to give Ten Hag what he wants.
Yeah. And he deserves it.
That's something we all agree upon. Like we back our manager. We back
exactly. Give him what he wants.
Even if he goes for Mount, I'm going to back
the guy. If you want Victor Osimhen, buy him Victor Osimhen.
Yeah.
If he wants Rabiot, buy him Rabiot.
Whatever he wants, he deserves
buy
it.
him his first preference. That's what I'm talking about. Don't give him his third or fourth or fifth choice. Get the list from our manager. What does he want? And give him that first option on as many of those positions as you possibly can. That's what you need to do. And that's what we need from our new owners. And that can only happen with somebody who has that kind of money and has no other interest other than the benefit and the future betterment of this club.
So that's where we are with Jadon Sancho.
Jadon Sancho.
Moving
on to Mason Mount.
I love the player. I think we need
had a not so great season, but then Chelsea have been bad overall.
Again, based on our budget and all, but if we're signing only about one midfielder, then I would prefer somebody like a Caicedo.
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
Arsenal are close to Declan Rice apparently.
Yeah, because apparently he also wants to live in London.
Exactly. Again, look, we've got to understand that even with Declan Rice, it's probably more about Arsenal are a bit more ready right now.
Yeah. We are not ready till the time we don't sort our owners. See, this is what we talk about. The more the delay on who the owners are, the more we cannot go for the players. So
Putting
the
more
players
pressure
are
on Tottenham.
and the players are also not going to sit. Ideally, they will wait for like Mason Mount might wait for a week or two.
Absolutely, and
But
even with Mason Mount,
he will move on. Then he would want some other
Last
team.
season, not a single one of our signings were at preseason, and that's something that is not good for the club.
And-
Because
and
we need to make a good start. If we're going to
we
even come close to
need-
City, we can't start
I mean,
the way we used
honestly, we definitely need most of our signings to go to the preseason. I understand with what's happening right now, with the stage we're at, with the takeover and all. We'll be lucky if we have two of our new signings going to preseason. I don't see more than that going ahead with the preseason. But the least you would want is them to at least be there at the start of the season.
True.
As early as possibly you can. All our transfers is what we need. So again, for a midfielder, I would rather have us go for somebody like a Caicedo rather than Mason Mount.
I love
But
that player.
If
Caicedo's a really good player.
He could be the next Kante
Yeah,
for
we
many
need
years
absolutely
for us.
yeah.
And
so if we're going for two, I don't mind, a Caicedo and a Mount.
No.
Absolutely. I
Ideally,
do
it should
appreciate
be.
Mount as well. I appreciate him. Homegrown talent. Agreed.
That's one benefit for the guy. Like the
Exactly.
homegrown
And we
part is
need to,
probably the
we
reason
need to
why
think
we-
about that also. With our outgoings, we're going to be short on the quota for that
Yes.
as well. So we need to bring in homegrown, which is why we're looking at, English players so much. Because we need to, meet that quota as well.
Yeah.
So basically, with Mount, where we stand is again, United are going to put in a bid very soon, but we have even contacted Brighton to know about the status of Caicedo because of a firm stand from Chelsea, wherein the evaluation, the price right now between Chelsea and what
30
United
million,
want to pay
30
has
million
about
gap.
a 20 million gap.
Yeah, because I'm
I'm
according
going to
to
pay 60, 70.
no. According to rumors, United are willing to go as much as 60 and
Not above that. That's
60.
what the latest rumors
that's
say.
the latest rumors.
That's
Which
still
is
a
still
very
fine.
that's a huge amount.
That's a lot of
But
amount,
for a player with 1 year left on his contract.
Exactly,
that's a lot
but
of money.
then
Look,
that is
if
what
you
comes.
talk
Honestly, I'd
but-
rather pay maybe 20, 30 more and get Caicedo.
He comes with an English
If I had a
passport.
choice between-
And you gotta understand, he comes with an English passport and he's a youth
top six
club. Plus, he's
prospect,
a
bro.
youth prospect.
It comes.
And he's a youth of a different club.
Yeah.
So
If you see the other players we're linked with also, there's Kim Min-jae and then
True, even with
none
Kim
of them
Min-jae.
are English, none of them are British as such.
But
They're
we
mostly
need-
are
Yeah.
players
Yeah,
from-
but
which is
exactly.
why Mount looks even more likely when you think about it in
Exactly.
retrospect.
Absolutely.
He seems more likely than Caicedo, which is really
again,
sad.
Ten Hag really appreciates Mount. He really likes Mount. So
He's seen Mount play for Vitesse Arnhem. If
And
Arnhem knows Mount's
yes,
game,
yes.
and
Plus
he
Mount
sees
is
something
still
in him.
young.
He sees something in him.
with
Because
Ten Hag's
he's
development,
tenacious.
Yes, he's tenacious. He's got the legs that Eriksen doesn't have.
Ten Hag clearly likes the
needs someone who
character.
can
He
press.
likes a character.
Ten Hag
And
really has
he
a
has that
character.
dynamism like Bruno Fernandes. If you go to see that Mason Mount is quite similar to the likes of Bruno Fernandes. They are also the kind of the tenacity that going for the
Forward
ball.
moving, wants
everything.
to go in front.
Yes,
wants to, like,
completely.
go for-
Hard work,
He
somebody who
definitely-
will give your all,
Like
basically,
Mason Mount.
and who's flexible enough to play a few different positions. That's what Ten
He
Hag
can stick
likes.
him up at left wing, maybe centre mid. Like
He can play as a
what
A lot of places with 4-3-3.
4-3-3. He
That
could be
can
the
go on
eight.
Yes, the number eight.
Number 8
Yeah.
like Bruno
I mean,
Fernandes. He could go.
like a City, how City
Little
plays
fluid.
with so much of fluid.
When in
Based on how the
possession,
game
yeah,
progress
yeah,
in
yeah.
possession, you
Players move
transition
all
through a
over the
lot
place.
of positions.
Lot of ways
Yeah, a
with
lot of
Mount,
formations.
yeah.
With players going here and
that's the
there.
modern game now.
Exactly,
Yes.
that's the
Yeah,
modern
that's how
game,
it is.
and I think that's what Ten Hag likes as well.
Yeah.
So again, with Mount, we'll just have to see. How hard Chelsea's stance is and what eventually ends up happening.
Correct.
And whether the player does something as well or not.
Correct.
Similarly with Kane as well, hard Tottenham stance, hard Daniel Levy stance.
I
They
don't
are
see-
desperate, wherein they're.
I'd bribe him with Sancho.
No,
I mean, Daniel Levy is so
Harry
hell-bent
Kane
that
would
he
go in
would
the
rather
end.
let him go for free.
Harry Kane probably be the marquee signing if it happens, and that would be
I
like
feel
the
it's going to stretch till the end.
something that
And
goes
again,
till
the
deadline
end of
day.
the
With
window.
Harry Kane,
He comes straight in and he starts.
The only
working. That's
thing
what
we
I
can't.
feel.
The
We
only
can't
way,
afford that.
See, the only way
I
see,
don't want us to chase him till the
Historically,
end
no,
of the
no,
season.
no,
the
happen.
only way
Switch your-
I see Harry Kane coming faster with us is when Harry Kane, comes out and says, gives a transfer request and says that I want to go to Manchester.
He
I
needs
don't
to
think
push.
that- And I don't think so.
And
That's
he's not
gonna
that
happen.
kind of
Then
guy.
we need to move on.
He did that with City. It's not that he's not that kind of a guy.
done it all.
He did that
He's
with
done
Manchester
it
City.
when Manchester City came
Came
to him,
last year.
Levy.
And
So now see, it's
Danny
very
Levy.
it's simple with Harry
hates
Kane.
us.
Yeah.
It's Harry Kane. I mean, with
Sir
the
Alex Ferguson
reported
hated dealing with him. Yeah.
with Harry Kane, the reports that
the
are coming
amount of-
in is simple. they say that he would prefer a move to United or to the Premier League. If that's true, it's simple with him. Either he puts in a transfer request, pushes for a move and makes it happen earlier, or Manchester United need to move ahead to another
they have to go
target.
for
We
another
cannot
target.
chase him till the end of the transfer window. I don't want us to do
Yeah,
that
we need to
because
move
we
on.
need to move forward. Get somebody that we can get early in, that Ten Hag can probably take to the preseason or have more time with. It's simple because we cannot just transition to a gameplay where that starts creating chances for a forward when a club and our squad has no idea how to create
How to-
chances.
So I've been
Play
saying
for a
it for
forward.
years. Like Kane would be the ideal United striker. It's been maybe 4 or 5 years. I've
I mean,
always known this. It was
we-
never
you
likely
know,
to happen, which is why we never
we-
spoke
we-
about
That's
it.
exactly.
That's-
But
again,
that being said, someone who I do see a little Harry Kane in is Rasmus Hojlund.
Oh, okay.
I see a lot of Kane in the guy. Like
Willing to.
we can't compare
I
their quality
see-
and their standard.
In
He's a
fact,
kid,
I see
but
a
he has
little
something.
bit of like he's somewhere in middle as compared to Kane and Haaland.
He's a little more mobile than Kane.
He has that.
He's more mobile.
He
He's
has
got the pace of
exactly.
Haaland.
Yes.
He's got more
He can
pace of
hold the
Haaland.
ball like Kane can,
He's
coming up and
explosive,
deep,
yeah.
When-
but he's
yeah.
explosive like Haaland.
Haaland, yeah.
So he
He's
is
got the
somewhere in the
pace.
middle, and with that age prospect, I'll be delighted
Yeah.
to have
and
him.
that's what we've
'cause
heard, that he wants 2 strikers.
11
one-
contributions in 20 matches.
With
potential,
Like the
Hojlund,
stats.
the reports are
Like
that
stats.
it's about when that transfer happens and not if the player is really interested. He's
Yeah,
recently announced officially
I read
that
something-
he's already signed for SEG, which is the same representation company that Ten Hag has, who represents Ten Hag.
So
He's a
again,
fan of United
there is,
as
there
well.
is 40 minutes ago, Hojlund, where this is coming via the
It's a
United
huge
stand, that Hojlund says that it's a huge club, so I must have done something right. If it says they want me, my goal is to reach the top shelf, and you can say that United is, so it will be huge. So this is coming out.
Right, so I mean, like we were just discussing,
Yeah,
it's about
exactly.
when rather than if, because
Yes,
the player
he's a United
prefers a
fan,
move,
yeah.
and United want to sign him. We like him. Ten Hag definitely likes him. Plus, he's been profiled by United as that future striker. Ten Hag wants 2 striker if he can get that.
He needs an
So-
understudy and he needs
Exactly,
a star
yes,
man. He
yes.
needs a
So,
marquee. We're not
absolutely.
competing next year without a top striker. That's a given.
Not one, we need 2.
Yeah,
So-
Rasmus is someone who's
and
going to
just
be an
imagine
understudy. I
we-
like
Exactly.
for Rasmus and Kane to play together because like the two
I
of
would
them,
as well,
he'd
but
learn
like-
a lot from Harry. is
So
what
would I,
feel.
but like we discussed with Kane, it can only be done if there's something from the player side, if he
Yeah.
pushes. Otherwise, we need to move on.
Yeah, we need to move.
Well,
To whom is the question.
Well, there are options,
There are
right?
very few top
Again,
tier
there are
strikers.
options,
Most
but
of them are
First,
30.
try for the first. What's the
first priority. It
yeah.
again depends
It-
on
everything
who
has to-
owns us.
yes.
Depends on who comes in. I mean, if Qatar comes in, like I said, maybe Victor Osimhen becomes an option. You never know. You don't know what exactly is going to happen till we have the owners we have,
Yeah.
till we know who's going to be doing the negotiations, what sort of a budget are we looking for, how many outgoings are going to be there. Right now we don't know whether maybe with Qatar coming in, they just tell Harry Kane that sorry, you're not in the plans, pay his wages, let him go. Maybe that doesn't happen if Surgeon takes over, and we don't do that because we might not do it. So there
Time
are a
will
lot
tell.
of
Time will
dynamics.
tell, man. Time will
Again,
tell.
with United, it's all a lot will depend on our sale.
Harry Kane's going to be the marquee signing or whatever striker we do end up going for. It'd probably be our last and final signing, but then we've got
If you ask
other
me,
players. I think Kim Min Jae.
if you ask me, I'd be
Kim
like,
Min
we
Jae
need
again.
5 marquee signing this summer.
Even Kim Min Jae is
and it,
who? Kylian Mbappe.
We need 5 marquee signings.
5
this
marquee
summer.
signings.
that is
You ask me.
Definitely.
This is what is Manchester United standard,
first
by the way.
team.
I'm sorry.
We need a first team
For
of
to
marquee
everyone, this
No,
is
I
what
mean,
Manchester United
look,
standard
Ralph-
should be like. Expecting the best marquee signings every year.
Ralph Rangnick wasn't wrong when he said that this we need a major overhaul and 10
Yep.
people. Ten Hag's already
Ten Hag
signed
knows
5
that.
and
Ten
he
Hag's
knows
been
that he
open
needs
about it.
7 more.
He said, "I need better players."
Ten Hag
He
has-
openly-
He's
I mean,
openly said it,
openly
yeah.
said
Like
it.
how more open he was.
And with the
This
City
window-
game,
money.
This window, if Ten Hag had his way, according to reports, he wants at least 7 incomings.
Yeah.
So that should tell you how right Ralph Rangnick was. And with Kim Min Jae, again, the scenario there is very
Beast.
simple. Again,
Korean beast.
with Kim Min Jae, he has a
I love the
release
player.
clause.
Get him.
It's good. It's good.
I would love it.
franchise marketing for the Asian countries
I
as well.
would love
and he's
it.
world class as well.
No,
Like,
he's world class.
Yeah.
But again,
Of the
with
World
him,
Cup,
you know, there's nothing
Napoli.
you can do because his release
His
clause
release
is only
clause is only
activated on the
activated
first
July,
week
yeah.
of June. July, sorry.
That works in our favor.
Or-
Yes, it does.
It does.
because it
does.
works in our favor.
It does.
Otherwise, he would have been gone by now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And
He'd
we've
be
got
gone.
2 weeks. That's it. Then that release clause is no longer activated. So yes, there are a lot of clubs interested. A lot of people are trying to move fast. But again, it's not just about hitting that release clause or activating it, because the player should want to sign as well. So with Manchester United right now are sort of a front runner. We are, leading that race. But again, Napoli are trying to, have him sign a new contract. It's not happened so far.
I don't think he
It
will
looks
sign.
like, he
Yeah.
will not sign.
Yeah.
But again, we will
Don't
have to
sign
wait.
Kim Min-jae. We would love
need
you.
clarity on our club.
But we will
ASAP
only be able to
close Kim
look,
Min-jae.
with
If
Kim
it
Min-jae,
takes
we
too
will
long,
only
we
be
lose
able
out.
to know in the
Once.
first week of July,
Yeah.
and once we get more clarity on Harry Maguire.
And hopefully
Because
by this week.
Kim Min-jae, I only see him coming in if Maguire is going out.
Maguire to Napoli, he'd suit the Italian league a little better.
Anywhere. I will drop him
Championship,
myself.
League One, League Two,
Anywhere, any club who
Australian
seems
league.
interested, I will drop him myself.
Saudi.
Sell him.
I mean,
sell him, sell him.
Newcastle.
Sell him on OLX. Sell him on OLX.
Absolutely. So, on that note, so that's the roundup of the latest transfer news
wow.
and what's been happening with the takeover saga. So, we're all hoping for the best, and we hope the takeover saga, is resolved as soon as possible.
Come on. Qatar in, guys.
Yes,
So,
Qatar in.
on that, definitely Qatar in.
I feel
you know,
Qatari. Yeah, tonight I feel Qatari.
This whole week I'm gonna feel Qatari, man. I hope with the reports, the news does come out the end of the week, and then we can move forward for the future and of our club, and hopefully a much brighter future than the past 2 decades. So guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you
Yes, please.
enjoyed our content, hit that like button. Please do subscribe, support us, and turn that notification bells on as well. There'll be a lot of content coming on in the future. Thank you for watching the video, and see you guys soon.
Stay safe.
Stay safe, guys.